So a man goes running into his home and he tells his wife, he said, I got the best news, honey, for Mother's Day weekend. He said, it's very, very exciting. He said, I've got a raise at work as I was leaving today. And he said, they're telling me that it's double the amount I'm making now. And the wife is really excited. I know, oh, wow, you want some of that too. So the wife goes, oh my gosh, this is so great. But when does it, when do you get it? Or what's the rest of the story? And he said, well, I don't know. I got the letter, but I didn't even read it. So he opens it up and he says, the raise will become effective when you do. The raise will become effective when you do. Life will become effective when you do. Love will become effective when you do. The laws of life in principle will become effective when you do. Energy will become effective when you do. And so it's the space of, as we say metaphysically all the time, you get what you bring. You get what you bring. And when you have this inner shift and you become effective in the reality which you're seeking, you want to realize at the same time that it has been seeking you. But it requires that inner wake-up call to become effective so you can wake up to that inner dimension within yourself so you have the eyes to see and the heart to hear. Yes. And so it's that particular space of that energy for each and every one of us that we are called forth. I think it's very exciting to honor birth and to honor mothers. Metaphysically today, though, I would like to address being born, because being born is not a one-time event. You have the capacity right now to become effective about something that you change your mind about, and you can allow yourself to be born into that. You can allow yourself to be born into sobriety. You can allow yourself to be in a happy marriage, though you've never seen it, never witnessed it, not knowing anybody that's in one. You could be born and have your own, yes? You can be born into a new space. You can even shapeshift the way that you look. There is so much power energetically that we have within us that is available, and we allow ourselves to be born time and time and time and time again. We allow to die what we no longer want and what doesn't serve us, but these new elements become born. Just like Deborah Nardi last week, an author now. She allowed herself to be born into being an author. You allow yourself to be born into being a better person than you were yesterday. I say that so many times. If I've, been rushing traffic, I don't do it that often, but, if I'm doing something out of sync, I go, allow myself tomorrow to be born into a newer, better person. Let me live this. Let me have this energetic presence. Ernest Holmes would say, the real birth of life is when a person discovers the one presence in all the universe that we call God, and they learn how to work with that power. And for the first time, they realize that they have the inner ability to heal anytime, anywhere. Charles Fillmore would say that the true Sabbath is when a person understands that all the changes in their lives are not personally up to them and doesn't require them to put in all the effort, but for them to truly grasp and understand. I'm excited. Can you tell? Truly grasp and understand that it is the Father within who doeth the works. It is the Creator within who doeth the works. I don't know about you. Many things I feel that I would say I was born into or accomplished in my life, I actually feel in some ways I had very little to do with it, because it took a power much greater than me to put all the pieces together in order to that to become realized. Yes? And you can tell when you are shutting the possibilities and the law down is when you start convincing everybody of all the things that you're going to have to do in order for something to happen. You're already in the way. Yes? You're already in the way of that. At our staff meeting this week, we were talking about one of my favorite being born moments was during the 4T program with Stretton Smith, is that it's about being able to see it right instead of setting it right. The ability to see something right according to who you are right now instead of setting it right. When we're setting something right, it's usually based upon all the data that we have developed and that we have memorized from the past. I told you it was going to be that kind of Christmas. It is every year. I told you he was going to hurt me because people do every time. I told you that when I would believe in something like that new church, I was going to come in one day and they weren't going to be friendly. It's happened at every church I've ever been at. Let me set it right. So let me continue to repeat this over and over and over and over again. Yes? But when I see it right, it's a step back. It's an evaluation. It's a looking at it. It's being aware. It's being open to what is this really showing me? What is this really telling me? What inner wisdom do I need to know about this? That's happened with so many people during this past year, and it's been so exciting. I mean, in the news, we only hear about the other things that happen. But in everyday life, a lot of people have said, how do I see this right? How do I let this change me? Like Mary said, Mary Westcott, how do I see this right? Instead of saying, oh, St. Pete must not be the place for me. See, I told you, every time I believe in something, I get let down. Instead of her coming from that place, how do I see it right? There's a better place for me, and I need to find it. Yes? Give yourself a great big hand. How do you see it right? How do you open your heart to be in that awareness? A couple of stories with that is Michael Beckwith was telling the story about how, he was in trouble with the law a lot. A lot of people don't remember that about him, but he was involved in drugs and things, and he got into a lot of problems there in the early stages of his life. And he said he was at the airport with Yolanda King, and he said that he was looking for his luggage, and he couldn't find it. And he said all of a sudden he looked at two officers there at the airport, and they start whispering, and they're looking and pointing at him. And he said all of a sudden he was thinking, what did I do wrong? What is going on? And I can't find my luggage, and I don't see my name tag. And he says, what is happening? And he said he got more and more paranoid, more and more into that energy, and they kept pointing. And then they walked over and they got some more officers to come over and join them. And by this time he was just a wreck. And he said, but in a minute they came up to him and said, I wanted to let you know that I've seen you on The Secret, and I want you to know how much your messages have changed my life. Right? And he said, here I was still carrying this old name tag from the past, and I was still living in a place that was no longer true for my life. I was telling a friend of mine the other day, when people say, oh, Temple, I heard you're trying to be famous. I said, I've already been famous. Every state trooper and every highway patrol knew me in the state of South Carolina. They knew my name and they knew my birth date. And they always knew the car I was driving or the one that was in the shop. So I've already been there. Trust me, I know what that can be like. So anyway, but I said, because they knew me so well, anytime I would hear a siren, and I mean, this went on for years, and I won't tell you how many years, so don't ask me. But anyway, when I would hear a siren, let me tell you, I'd just pull my car over. Because I'd save them the time. I'm like, they're looking for me. Here we go. And it took a while to break that pattern. It's like, oh, now just wave. Let me get out of your way because I know you're going somewhere else. But now when I hear a siren or I see troopers coming and everything, I just say a prayer. I ask for a resurrection. I ask for a new understanding of how everybody or anybody is being impacted by that moment, you see. I think the other thing when we talk about being born, I don't know about in other parts of the country, but in the culture of the South, you're not supposed to talk really that much about great things that have happened to you. Anybody else have that? Nobody's willing to raise, you can't catch COVID, I don't think, just raising your finger, Right? What do they call that in the South? Or where I'm from, that's all I can speak of as an expert. They call it bragging, right? They call it bragging. Oh, you're not supposed to boast. You're not supposed to brag. You're supposed to almost apologize when great things happen to you, or goodness knows, tone it down so nobody can notice that. But the thing of it is that you have birthing rights. Birthing rights are different than bragging rights. You have the ability to say, look at what, if you really believe that it's Spirit within you who doeth the works, look at how I've been blessed this week. Look how the Creator has blessed me. Look at this wonderful surprise that's happened to me. Look at what this energy of metaphysics has done for me. You see what I mean? Because if you're not comfortable with great things happening for you, you're putting out this subliminal information into the law that says, I'm not comfortable with great things happening to me. Are you comfortable with great things happening to you? Yes. So you want to make that joyful noise. You want to be in that experience. You want to go, wow, I'm so excited to be God today. It's just been amazing of all the things that have occurred. And if somebody then discerns or judges you and thinks that it's bragging, then tell them the way that you mean it and how you mean it, and let them have the ripple effect, because we need to change that. We can't be saying that we believe in metaphysics and the teachings of Buddha and Gandhi and the fact that Jesus said, great things can I do. Very few people remember the second part of what was said, is that greater things shall ye also do. So when you're going to do them, we want to know about them. We want to hear about them. Yes? Is this working for you? Because I still have a little bit more time. So the other thing when it comes to being born is that, healing often can happen instantaneously within our own mind. It can happen within our own being. It may take a while for the divine order to occur, but once we decide upon a thing and we make it so, then automatically it becomes true in our lives. And there's a quote that a friend of mine gave me that says, it's easier to take the pebble out of your shoe than it is to walk with a limp. I'm going to say that again. It's easier to take the pebble out of your shoe than it is to walk with a limp. Every now and then, we are just held accountable in our own awareness, which is what I was talking about when we first opened today, is when you're holding on to an action that someone did to you years ago, and you're still talking about it, you are the only one still causing that pain in your life. It's not the person from way back when. Set them free. Set them free. Let them go, because you keep giving that power. You keep giving that energy. And in honoring of our Mother of Unity, Mother Myrtle Fillmore said, you have a problem in your mind, and don't forget that you are the one that put it there. You have a problem in your mind, and you are the one that put it there. I also think about the mother of the teacher of the teachers in New Thought, one of the greatest mystics that's ever lived, Emma Curtis Hopkins. And many people don't know this, but when she was 15 and she was already in college, they recognized her right away, and they asked her at 15 to be a faculty member. I mean, she was just that much of a genius. But when you think about Emma's work and you think about a mystic, there are 4 dangerous words. I don't use the word danger that often, but there's 4 dangerous words that one can hold in their heart. And that is, I know that already. I know that already. And to me, that is so not allowing yourself to continue to be born. Because intellectually, we may know a lot. Intellectually, we may memorize a lot. Intellectually, we may have read that or seen it on one of the Today shows or whatever. And we go, oh, I know that already. Oh, I know that already. Knowing it and developing and integrating it are 2 very different levels of being born. Because when you integrate it, then you are born into a different awareness of yourself and a whole different level of that particular experience, And Emma Curtis Hopkins, she said, there's one mind Say it with me. There's one mind. That mind is God. That mind is my mind right now. And so we bring that energy into that, of that thought process about what is possible. The other thing that happens, I think, and well, I can speak for me, I'm still growing up, but when I was really, like 15, teenager growing up, another level of growing up, God bless everybody through that period. But that being said, one of the things that's very interesting that I'm just kind of working on and journaling in my own heart is there's an acronym from ODD, and it's called Opposition Defiance Disorder. Now, those are big words, okay? Opposition Defiance Disorder. And what does that mean? You might wonder what that... Thank you for asking. What it means is it's people that are rebels towards authority. That's the simplest version. You can look it up and read it and understand and learn a lot more about it. But it's about people that resist authority, people that aren't in harmony with authority, people that just because they see a uniform or an outfit or they see somebody up on a platform, they're already like debating, like, who are you in my world? And if you are an authority, what do you mean telling me what to do? And unity people, now we're a whole different set of people. But I'll save that for a different talk, right? But we don't take kindly to rules and boxes and those kind of things. But the thing that it matters to me is there's a difference between being childlike and being childish. There's a difference between being childlike, a wander child, staying young forever, regardless of your age, and going, what is the magic and mystery today? Or what is that dove doing? Hi, Mom. It's looking for the signs and wonders of one's life. That's childlike. And you're just like, oh, what are we going to do now? What's going to happen? Wow, to be that way. How beautiful is that? But childish is something altogether different. It's when we resist and often resent, when we feel like we're out of control. And many people that that had woundology when they were growing up, they have the most difficult time letting go of control to a higher power. So I invite you to work with that concept within yourself, because if you have placed the Creator or God in an authoritative figure, it will impact you in ways that you're not aware. So you want to check that, because the power that we teach here, the one presence and the one power, is a principle, not a person. It's a principle. It's an energy field. It's allowing you to co-create. It's working with love and law in order to demonstrate the beauty of your life. And you are guiding these laws. When people say, my life isn't working, what they're really saying is, I have yet to understand how to work with the laws of my life, because they're always working. And what you see is who you are, and how effective you have become within yourself. So what you want to see out here, it's imperative that you see it in here, and then you'll see it out there. Right? And that's that space. It's like the person that's walking around going, nobody loves me, everybody hates me, sitting in the garden eating worms. I'm not appreciated, I'm not careful. While all the time they're getting thank you notes, they got people saying, that was a great job, that was a great job, and they're walking around going, I'm not appreciated, I'm not appreciated. It's like when you appreciate yourself, you appreciate that God thought enough of you to create you. You appreciate yourself that you have purpose on this planet. You appreciate yourself that God sent you. You were sent. You appreciate that energetic field. And somebody walks by and goes, I appreciate you helping today. You go, thank you for noticing. Yes? Practice. Thank you for noticing. You breathe it in. You breathe it in. Why? Because it is your energetic space. When we say things like, make a joyful noise unto the Lord, let you be a witness to the good works of what the universe can do, don't be in the closet. Don't be in the closet. Live out loud. Let it be seen. Encourage us, inspire us. Go so much further than we have gone so we can catch up, you see. Wow. Being born. I love the story of John Lennon when he was talking about his mom. He said that his mom always told him that the secret of life was to be happy. And so when he was 5 years old and he was in school and the teacher gave an assignment and said, what is the secret to life? And he said, it's to be happy. And she told him he didn't understand the assignment. And he told her she didn't understand life. Right? Being born. Owning being born. Owning your space, your place, your sacred circle, your awareness. Who you are right now, right this minute, you can choose to allow a part of you to be born. You can choose for a part of you to be more effective. You can choose by stepping up something within you that we will all benefit from consciously or unconsciously. You know, many great works are never recognized, but they are felt. They are felt. I'll close by an example, just a mom that she was just past herself, where the little boy Jimmy, he was just wearing her out, and he was going in the door and out the door, and she goes, oh my gosh, Jimmy, you just wear me out, young man, and how in the world do you ever anticipate going to heaven? He said, well, when I get to heaven, he said, I'm going to stand there in front of St. Peter, and I'm going to go in the door and out the door, and in the door and out the door, and in the door and out the door. And finally, St. Peter's going to say, Jimmy, make up your mind. You coming in or you coming out? And he said, and I'm going to step in. Well, that's what I'm asking you today, is to step in and become effective in your lives. Fully step in, get what you bring, and allow the amazing journey we call life to express itself through every aspect of who you are. Thank you for coming, and thank you for listening. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.